This is a demo of replacing the board in the Pet Tutor feeder pod. And so with this we have the feeder pod. You'll need possibly a Phillips for the inside. Sometimes some of the units have Phillips, but usually on the outside you'll find this Torx number 10, which is required for the 3 screws on the outside. So here we go. We're going to take the screws, the 3, off the outside. And then we can open up. Now we're on the inside. There will be the cables. The first one, this is the trickiest one possibly. You have to pull this little black connector, and that releases the membrane, the flat membrane connector ribbon cable. And then that leaves 3 connectors that are left. You see these. So we're going to remove those by just pulling gently on those connectors. The one on the bottom for the speaker, and then the one on the side for the motor. Pull that loose. And then the one on the top, which is the power. Just pay attention that, the red wire goes on the outside for both of these. And now you can see we're on the inside. These are the screws for the board. So you can take, this one happens to have Phillips. Again, you may have a Torx. You may have a unit that requires the Torx for the inside. You take these 4 screws loose. And 2 more here at the bottom. Same thing if you were replacing the motor. You'd get to this point. And now be very careful. Now this is the tricky part. You have to keep the board oriented so it's pointed up, and I'll show you why. As you lift this off, it will expose these fiber optic light pipes. There's 3 at the top and 3 at the bottom. And if you hold it upside down, these will fall out. So it's important to have them oriented. There's nothing holding it in other than the board. And you'll see on the back side of the board, these are the LEDs, the infrared LEDs that couple onto the light pipes. So to put this back together again, I just fish this wire through the motor, and I want to position this so that the screw holes in the light pipes line up. They'll fit very nicely. You'll see there. Now it's flush, so flush on the light pipes. That's where the light pipes are on the bottom, and then same thing on the top, if you can see that. And I got the screw holes lined up too. That's the giveaway. Everything's ready to go. So now you can put the screws back in on the board. I like to get one in place just to kind of hold the board until I can get a couple of these lined up. I wouldn't tighten them down. I usually just get them started. And there's one more screw here. You'll notice this board also has it's a little piggyback board that is the Bluetooth board. We'll probably have future versions of this without that little piggyback board. We'll be making a new circuit board here before shortly. Okay, so that's everything back together. The screws are tight. We've got this flush against the light pipe on the bottom and the light pipe on the top. Screws are all snugged down. So red wire on the outside. I put the little connector in there, and you can use your fingernail to squeeze it in. And so that first one is snapped into place. And now I can do the power cable. It's bigger. So again, you want the red wire on the outside. Get the power cable in place. Take your fingernail and push it down so it's snug up against. So now I've got 2. And then the speaker, you can put the red wire on the outside. Just remember, in general, let's see, I don't know if the red wire goes on the outside on this one. Let me see. It doesn't matter a whole lot on the speaker. There we go. Actually, the red wire went on the inside for this particular one. That's just the cable will only go in one direction. And now the last one is this flat cable. You need to pull this little black piece out That locks the flat ribbon cable into place. You got to keep that pulled out and insert the flat ribbon cable like that. Make sure you push it in snug until it bottoms out, and then take your finger and push that in. You'll feel it just gently lock into place, and now the ribbon cable is in place. Put this back together. Now I'm going to go back to my Torx and put those final 3 screws in place. 1, 2, and 3. Just snug those down a little bit. You want to press too hard because you can split the plastic, so be careful in putting those screws back in. Just want to have it kind of snug, and there we go. So we've just replaced a board in the feeder pod, and that just took, it looks like, just a few minutes, about 6 minutes from beginning to end there. So if you have any questions, let me know. This is Wes. Thanks.